Well, we are celebrating Hanukkah this week, and for Jewish families, sharing stories and traditions is a part of the celebration. It's important to preserve dark parts of Jewish history too, though, as a way to teach about the dangers of anti-Semitism and hate.
It is estimated that less than 50,000 Holocaust survivors are alive in the U.S., the youngest of which are now in their late 70s. So there is a growing urgency to record their stories for future generations. That is the mission of the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center on Long Island in New York.
So with that, we're joined now by Dana Arschin, a storyteller with the museum who focuses on recording the stories of Holocaust survivors. She's also the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors, and she also happens to be one of my very good friends. So we are very glad to have her here. Hi, Dana. Happy Hanukkah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Same to you. And I also happen to have met Jay recently, so it's such an honor to be with both of you. I am a little congested. I know you were reporting on how sick people have been this winter, so
you and me both.
Mind.
You and me both.
Yeah, it's the season. So Dana, you worked as a journalist for a long time in New York. That's how I know you. So tell us about what inspired you to shift careers to telling stories about the Holocaust specifically.
Yeah, so I've been reporting for local news stations in New York for the past 12 years. And at my last job, I'll give them a shout out at Fox 5. I was able to start a Holocaust series where I would go around the tri-state area interviewing Holocaust survivors. The passion came from my own personal experience. My Poppy is one of those 50,000 survivors that you mentioned. He's 100 and turns 101 in March. He survived more than 2 years in Auschwitz concentration camp where he was forced to do labor every single day. Both of his parents and 5 of his siblings were killed. He was one of 9 siblings when the war broke out. So I was incredibly lucky that Fox gave me this platform. And I took this series and brought it to the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County, where I'm the first ever storyteller. So I'm doing these same broadcast powerful stories about survivors. I'm actually now shooting, writing, and editing them myself. And instead of airing on TV, we are just blasting them out all over social media. And it's incredible. People really actually do want to hear these stories, Jews and non-Jews, the feedback I'm getting. And I'm getting tens of thousands of views. I'm getting anywhere from 50 to 80,000 views on almost all my stories on Instagram alone. So it's been really rewarding, and I'm so grateful that HMTC gave me this opportunity because I only wanted to tell Holocaust stories, and now I'm able to do that.
Some incredible work. And Dana, why is it so critical to preserve these stories?
You know, you said it. There are only about 50,000 survivors left, which might sound like a large number, but they are dying every single day. We've lost 4 survivors associated with our center just since July. So this is our last chance to hear these firsthand accounts. And if we don't preserve them, how is the world ever going to know and remember? And I always say this, that I feel that if I don't tell these stories, who will?
And let's talk a little bit about Hanukkah and the traditions that are associated with that, which of course are passed down and cherished through families for decades, centuries. Tell us a little bit about your family's traditions and what has been passed down and taught to you from your grandfather, and also why it's so important to keep these memories alive, specifically of Jewish traditions.
Sure. And, you know, I'm not a religious Jew. I don't keep kosher. I don't observe Shabbat. I don't read the Torah. But a lot of people think that it's this black and white, category that you have to go into. I'm a really proud cultural Jew. So for me, keeping these traditions alive are so important. Lighting the menorah, knowing that my family did that for generations and generations before me, and knowing that my ancestors were murdered and millions of other victims just for practicing these traditions. That's why it's more important to me now than ever before to keep these alive and to show my 2 daughters that these are traditions that my family cherish and makes us who we are. And also, I think something beautiful that a colleague of mine was saying was that, we light the candles on the menorah, and it's also a time right now for Jewish people to be a bright light as we're facing so much anti-Semitism and hate throughout the world.
Such a great point. Dana Arschin, thank you so much for coming on and joining us this morning. We do appreciate it. Happy Hanukkah to you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays and New Year. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. And we'll be back in 3 minutes.